This is Nerd Radio.
It's cool. I'm taking it back.
What are you, nuts?
I'm taking it back. You watch.
Welcome back to Nerd Radio. We're on your social media at Nerd Radio 101. We're on Checkpoint XP's Twitch stream, recording live Wednesday afternoons at 11:30. My name is Chuck Bean, joined by Mr. Al Beck.
I'm here.
And James.
Wow. You went to me first this time. I was zoning out.
Yep. We just got done kind of giving our reviews of Godzilla vs. Kong and the Justice League movie. And as I said at the top of the show, it's been about 3 weeks since we put a Nerd Radio together, and that is because, well, I got hit with the COVID bug, so I was stuck at home. And once I got my energy back and I got back to some gaming, I finished up Death Stranding.
Whoa, you're done delivering?
I'm done delivering. I delivered all the stuff.
I want to hear what happens once you deliver your final package.
Do you want it spoiled?
I'm never going to play it.
Because there's a thing that happens during the credits that changes the perspective of the entire game.
They honor you for building the Chuck Bean Memorial Highway?
Unfortunately, they don't, no. But Norman Reedus has been walking around with his baby on his chest for the entire game. And if you haven't played it and you don't want it spoiled, then you want to fast forward about a minute or two through this. But Norman Reedus has been walking around with his baby on his chest, and every time you hook up to the baby, once you've rested in your room, taken a shower and pooped,
of this.
Once you've hooked,
hooking up with the baby.
Every time you hook the little thing up to the device that the baby's in, you get these flashbacks, and that's where you meet Mads Mikkelsen, who ends up being one of the villains that you have to fight against.
Mads Mikkelsen,
the guy who played Hannibal. The guy who played Hannibal.
I'm sorry, this is a silly name.
It is kind of silly.
My mother named me Mads Mikkelsen. Thanks, Mom. You're really doing me some service.
Right. So you get these flashbacks of him, and you get the impression that before Norman Reedus got to this kid, this kid was in a lab, and Mads was the dad, and he would come and visit the baby in the little.
I feel like this is Mads Mikkelsen's clone.
And about near the end of the game is when you get one final flashback of when he tried to bust out with the kid, when he found out that they were going to use the kid for scientific stuff, and he's like, well, that's my son, I don't want that to happen. So he tries to bust him out and doesn't, and you discover that Norman Reedus is actually the kid in the jar. So Norman Reedus is the son of Mads Mikkelsen's character. Wow. And it changes the perspective of every
So who's the baby in the jar that he's carrying?
The baby in the jar that he's carrying is a different kid that they found.
Is it his kid? Is it Norman Reedus' kid?
He does end up adopting it at the very end.
Of course he does.
He ends up one of
those. This is exactly how The Walking Dead's going to end, too, just so you guys know. Double spoiler alert.
The last mission you have to do, because whenever somebody dies, they have to take their body to an incinerator before it makes a void out and makes all the ghosts happen. So the last mission you have to do is you have to take the fetus in the jar to the incinerator, because
just like Lord of the Rings,
it dies during your final battle. So
this whole time you're really Frodo.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're Frodo, the Federal Express man.
When you get it there, Norman Reedus has to make a choice. Does he want to actually incinerate the body, or does he want to open up the case and possibly the kid can live outside it? Because there's a 70% chance if you take those kids out of the case.
That's a good chance. 70. I think you take that chance.
Right.
Unless you don't have enough food and stuff for yourself. Now you have to feed a baby.
Yeah. But he takes him out, and there's a real heart-wrenching scene where you think the kid is dead, and then it wakes up, and then at the end you see that he has adopted it. Just carrying it around like Lone Wolf and Cub, like the Mandalorian. He's just carrying the little kid around.
Wow.
I'm really just taking one thing away from all of that. Do you think B-Pod Studios, our parent podcasting network, would object to the episode being called Fetus in a Jar?
We can find out the hard way. 3 weeks off, we come back for Nerd Radio, and then suddenly we're gone again.
Don't worry. I can handle this. But we needed to make a splash.
Yeah.
We needed to make a splash to let the world know Nerd Radio is
we're back.
And fetus in a jar, just the title of an episode.
You would think a fetus would make a very small splash,
yeah.
But really, we know what we're doing.
Yes. Well, when you put that fetus in a jar,
and
the
we all know becomes
that
much bigger.
There's a lot of controversy around fetuses and what people do with them.
That's true.
So that's why we're looking to make a splash.
Yeah.
So I got to finish that. I went through the Hawkeye stuff in Avengers.
Damn!
I've been playing.
Tell me more about these 3 weeks. Where it's misery. He's playing Hawkeye.
Right. And during the last 3 weeks, the Magic the Gathering Legends game came
Yes!
on the PC.
I've finally been able to play it on my phone.
Oh no! You see, you got to play Arena on your phone,
Arena,
which is
different
cool,
game.
where you can play the card game. No, Magic the Gathering Legends is out on Epic Games on the PC.
What is Magic the Gathering Legends now?
Have you played Diablo? Ever?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, it's Diablo with Magic the Gathering.
So you
On-
walk
like on
around
top
and then
of it.
flip a card and then you can do stuff?
You
or-
walk your character around and you fight monsters from Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
And you have essentially a hand of spells that recycles underneath your thing, and you use those spells while you're out in the world.
I might have to look into this because
It's free to play.
Ooh, I love it so far.
You can spend money to get more cards and to get better characters,
spells.
better
Is
spells,
it
and
like
that kind of thing.
Pay to play, like pay to win.
It's a little boring.
Oh.
It's a little dull. Now I've only played a couple hours of it, but you don't interact with other players very much.
No.
But when you do, it's very exciting. You can do these like arenas where you fight other like bosses.
Other wizards?
Yeah, and you have to have like 2, 3, or 4 other players to help you out. So
okay.
So that's kind of fun.
As we learned from Final Fantasy 15, if Chuck finds it a little dull, he's only willing to invest 60 hours into this.
Yeah.
Only 60 hours.
Yeah,
That's
how much
right.
time? How much time will Chuck spend playing this dull game?
Right.
About half as much time as I spend on 3 monster movies.
Yeah.
I think Chuck wins.
I just got that. That was a great callback. But yeah, the Hawkeye Avengers stuff is really fun. Playing Hawkeye is pretty much the experience I expected.
Which Hawkeye do you like better, Kate Bishop or Clint Barton?
I like Kate better because she
Or
teleports.
Cliff Barton. What's his name?
Clint.
Clint, okay.
I like Kate better because she teleports. But I enjoy that they included Lucky, his dog, in the game, which is cool. He's up on the helicarrier. And all the different characters, no matter which character you're playing, if you go up to Lucky, they all pet him differently.
Oh, for real?
Which is adorable.
That's cool.
They all treat him a little bit differently. And playing Clint is, you get the experience. He's got a bunch of different crazy arrows that you can fire, which is cool. He's got a boomerang arrow, and he's got, an arrow that puts out, you can do the thing from, was it Civil War, where you take like the disruption arrow and chuck it in a guy's forehead and stun him, the thing he does to Scarlet Witch.
Oh, okay.
And Age of Ultron. And the real experience is that the boss in this, because he's been trapped in an alternate future, so the boss in this is a future version of the Hulk called the Maestro.
Ooh, the Maestro.
And the real Hawkeye experience is, because you don't want to get up close and personal fighting a Hulk character,
No.
especially when you're just the
See
guy
Hulk
with
smash.
You're the guy with the bow and arrow, so you have to sit back and bow and arrow the crap out of him until he realizes he's sick of getting arrows in his back and chucks a giant rock at you.
You gotta dodge out of the way of that.
And that is the full Hawkeye experience right there, is getting smashed with a giant rock from the Hulk when he gets sick of the regular guy hitting him with bow and arrow.
We'll take that, Hawkeye.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing those. I discovered I've forgotten that I hated Super Mario 64.
You forgot? I forgot I hated it as well.
I forgot how much I absolutely hated Super. Like I did not buy a Nintendo 64 because I played it and was like, the controls in this are awful.
Really?
I
Yeah, I
can't
forgot how awful the controls were.
I can't believe people are so excited for this awful controlling Mario game.
I'm assuming that means you bought Super Mario All-Stars 3D or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Super Mario 3D
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All-Stars before it went away.
Oh yeah,
for
before
good.
it disappeared. I saw you post about that in your
Yeah.
Instagram. That's
Yeah.
so strange.
Hey,
For
as
them
far as
to-
I'm concerned, I have a collector's item now. So
Yeah.
a playable collector's item.
Because they had a couple of things on their eShop too that like they took off. I don't think you can get the Super
The Battle
Mario
Royale?
35.
Nope, and I don't think you can even play that anymore.
I don't think so either. I haven't even tried to.
I haven't touched my Switch since I've discovered Valheim. So
Yeah, I saw you got a Man-Thong server now.
Yeah.
For Valheim. How's that going?
so far so good. We got a lot of bases. We've beaten the first boss. I don't know if people are waiting to beat the second boss. It's weird. I've never been in charge. Not really in charge, but I've
Right.
never had a community server with a game that's like this. So I don't really know. Am I supposed to create like events? Am I supposed to say, okay, everybody, it's the fall harvest. Let's all hop on the server and, I don't know, do something. I don't know really what I'm doing.
I
but,
think that's what the Man-Thong Mafia is waiting for.
yeah. Well, we got like 10 people that are on the server that are building stuff. Life of Steve. I'm gonna forget everybody. So I apologize for those. Anybody besides Life of Steve that I didn't mention, I'm sorry. I know you're there. Your names are slipping my mind. But
so this server is you pretty much only interact with people that are a part of your
the
group?
only people that can get in there have credentials that they've gotten from my Discord.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, if they give those credentials to somebody, they can access it. But you would have to go to my Discord, the Man Thong Mafia Discord. You have to agree to some terms. I call it the Hunk Code of Honor. Once you agree to the Hunk Code of Honor, it gives you a role in my Discord, which grants you access to see all the Valheim content that I have posted. So there's different channels on there. And then there's instructions on how to get like the IP address and the password.
Yep.
So you follow all those instructions, and then you go on to Valheim and you put that in, and you're in Hunktopia.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
they can access it 24/7.
I'm sure this is old news, but I've never really.
No, I haven't. I still haven't touched Valheim. So.
Oh, I mean, just even having these servers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is all new to me. But Valiant Summer, he's the one who suggested it. Valiant Summer, he's a regular Nerd Radio 101 viewer, listener, and part of the Man Thong Mafia. And he was like, "Well, when are you going to get your own Valheim server?" And I was like, "Oh, I could do that."
Right.
Let me look into it. And then I was like, I can set it up to where whenever I'm online, people could join the server when I'm online. But I'm like, I want people to go and like build and just do stuff.
Yeah.
When I'm not there, whenever they want, you know. And then I looked into it, and it's like $10 a month or so.
That's not
so
bad.
I was like, okay, take some of my Twitch sub money and put that in there, and then the community can get more in return on their subscription fees.
Hell yeah.
Then it won't cost me anything other than just trying to figure stuff out. It's time.
So would my character, let's say I start playing this thing, and would my character be the same on and off of your server? Like, could I come in and out?
Or you could create a new one. So
Okay.
you could use your character. So when I started it, I asked everybody to start fresh. Some people did, some people didn't. Whatever. I just want people to be there. Just please,
Yeah.
let's get some. Let's get our money's worth. Let's play the game and just have fun. As long as you're here to have fun and have a good time, that's all I'm looking for. But I started with a fresh character, and now I'm at the point where I'm actually beyond my original character. So I'm thinking I should go with my original character and just bring all my cool crap that I've collected,
Right.
and bring it in this new world, because the game's still technically in like an advanced release or whatever they want to call it. So there's still going to be some changes, and then once they put out the full release, everybody has to start over anyways.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm like,
interesting.
How much do I really want to put into two different,
Yeah.
characters? So I'm like, forget my original character. I'm playing strictly in Hunktopia with the FSJC character, and I'm just we'll see how far we can get. And when it restarts, we'll restart again. And if people want to hang out and still do it, cool. If not,
That's fascinating.
we'll move on to the next thing.
They've
But
made the decision that like when they do make it a full retail release, that everybody's got to start over.
Yeah.
Like there's not even a, hey, if you give us like $5, you can take your character from the beta and stick it in the
and
new one.
maybe they'll come up with something like that. But I feel like there's people in this game that are so far into the game,
Right.
Like,
That would really upset me.
Yeah.
they'd have to. The game would be broken if they brought that character into a new world, essentially.
Probably.
True, yeah.
But once again, you've put so many hours into it, and you were an early adopter. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a reward.
Dude, I was bummed out when I was like, "Oh, dude, we'll have to start all over." Like, do you know how many trees I've chopped down? Do you know how
Right.
many?
Right.
Do you know how many rocks I've picked up?
You're always, dude. Unless you're always like a normal person is always going to be behind the ball of everyone else.
Oh,
man.
for sure.
I think we all like when Call of Duty was like the new and fresh thing. I think we all signed in the day of release and already came up against someone who was prestiged already.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, when did you get this thing?
Yeah, that's 100% accurate because I remember playing. It'd be like the second day the game was out and somebody's already prestiged. I'm like,
Yep.
that's all 50 levels and you started over?
Somebody is really good at the game and has not left the television.
Yeah, like what do? You just
since
poop in a
it
bucket?
started.
You poop in a bucket with a controller in your hand?
Oh man,
You
now
know?
now we're between fetus in a jar and poop in a bucket.
Poop in a bucket.
What are we gonna call this episode?
they're
We're gonna
both-
call it between poop in a bucket and fetus in a jar.
or we combine the two: fetus in a bucket
Here's the
or
thing.
Fetus
poop
in
in
a
a
poop
jar.
Gun to your head, which one do you drink?
Oh God!
Well, I can't
There you
taste.
go.
I can't taste either of them. So really, I'm gonna win this
There you
bet.
go.
I'm gonna
Chuck's
win
like,
this.
I'll show you which one I drink.
It's gonna be
And
disgusting.
then,
It's
I'll
gonna-
drink them both.
I'm gonna regret it later, but
Bad news, Chuck. Whoever pooped in the bucket had hepatitis.
Oh
And
it's a whole
unfortunately,
new level of sick.
so do you.
Ugh. Did you guys before we move on from the gaming? Let me try and bring this back.
I like
no!
how he actually.
Hepatitis is where it got
Let me
dark.
try.
Well, I like how he actually referred to it as a game. He's like, before we move on from the game.
Before we take a break and move on from the gaming, let me bring this
the
conversation
gaming, okay.
back. You guys saw the news. It was on our website, WRIF.com. The PlayStation Network is shutting down the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita and PS PSP servers.
He's thinking about all the delicious stuff in the buckets and jars he's going to consume.
But you guys saw the story, right?
I saw the headline, and I'm very curious. About
in August, they're gonna they're gonna shut down the servers, which allow you to still go on the PlayStation Network and purchase games on your PlayStation 3, your PlayStation Vita, and your PSP. Obviously, all three of these are like the PS3 is 2 generations back, and they don't do anything for their portable stuff, and haven't for over 2 years now. So it's. On one hand, it's not a huge loss, but on the other hand, that means that if you've ever bought anything on your PS3, your Vita, your PSP, go download it, because after August, you won't be able to ever again. And you won't be able to purchase any other older games for those particular things.
Physical copies of your content, everybody.
Yeah. It's
buy them and save them like a hoarder.
It's the kind of thing that we, when we talk about, like, I like having a physical copy. This is one of the major reasons.
It's the security of the physical copy, because once they pull them out of the store, you're like, guess what?
Yeah,
I got my physical copy right here.
If I want my,
like I'm holding
if
a
I
pair
want
of panties. I got my physical copy right here.
That's James' physical copy.
This is my boulder holder.
The only downfall to the physical copy thing is the fact that you put that game in, it still has like 80 gigs worth of stuff it has to download.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like gaming is somewhat exempt from the safety net, if you will. Kind
of, but, at the same time, like I was saying, it's after August, if you haven't downloaded your copy. I've got, I think the first Uncharted, I bought like the Game of the Year version, which came with all the downloadable content. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have enough hard drive space to have that and anything else on the PS3. So,
or if you have a Call of Duty Warzone,
right?
You can't keep any of that stuff on there.
Like, once I beat it, I just wiped all that stuff off of there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't go and re-download it, but at the same time, like, you start having to make that decision. It's like, am I ever really going to want to play this game again? And that's definitely one of those games that, like, no, I've seen it.
I was actually thinking about that, 'cause I just moved, and I brought all of my, PS3 games with me and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever, and me, I barely play something that's new, so I'm like,
right,
I don't know if I'm ever going to play this
again.
The
fact that you had to sit and contemplate whether or not you're going to play your PS3 blows my mind. Will I play it? Or like a teenage girl with the flower petals. He loved me not. But it's Al. I don't know. Maybe it's a pepperoni pizza and he's pulling pepperonis off. He's like, will I play it? Or won't I play it? Will I play it? I will play it.
Wow. I guess I'm eating pizza today.
Yeah, that sounds...
Just planted that pepperoni seed in my brain.
I'm still hungry after the chicken soft tacos that killed the man in California 2 years ago. From the morning show we talked about.
That's what I'm so sick about me, was we're talking about the tacos that killed a man. I'm like,
tacos
today.
Oh, I know.
Tacos sounds great.
Chicken soft taco. I'm going to change the menu for dinner tonight. No one's supposed to make
I had one of those
sandwiches.
I had one of those moments, though, with my PS3 where I got rid of Metal Gear Solid 4. It was the game I bought with my PS3 when I got it. I played it. I wasn't crazy about it, and I got rid of it. And now that I've finished Death Stranding, and I'm kind of a big Hideo Kojima fan, like, I want to make sure I actually have copies of all his games. And I'm like, man, I need to go back and see how much it costs to have a copy of that.
Guess we know where Chuck's going. Disc replay. Hey.
You know what's okay? This is the last thing, and then we'll move on. But you know what I found fascinating over the weekend? My copy of Rock Band 3, I broke it.
Oh no!
It's like the
what system?
The disc itself, the Xbox 360.
I don't know if I have that.
And I went looking for them. You can't find a copy of that.
Really?
For the Xbox 360.
No, huh?
If you go online on like Amazon or eBay for that, people are charging like $80 for a copy of Rock Band. And I'm like, what the? How is that not everywhere?
Huh.
Everybody played Rock Band 3. Everybody bought all the instruments in the game and everything like that. Like, who's hoarding these?
Right. Interesting.
That is crazy.
I will say with the like the PS3 thing.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3, if people are concerned about the digital content they got, that was super easy to swap out hard drives.
It was.
I was able to upgrade my hard drive on my PS3, and that says something.
Look at you.
It's just like a regular old laptop hard drive, and space is relatively cheap these days.
Yeah.
So if someone is really concerned about that, it should be easy to buy enough space to store it.
Yeah.
So I just figured I'd throw that out there. If there is somebody that's like, oh my God.
Look at that big hard drive on Al.
That's right.
Look at
New and improved.
And cheap.
Ooh.
and cheap. All right, we're going to take a break and come back for our final segment for this week's Nerd Radio. And because it's WrestleMania week, we're going to talk about
Now with
wrestling.
extra TB, James.
The WWE Network has officially closed down and moved to Peacock. We'll tell you whether or not it's a good thing, and we'll talk a little bit about WrestleMania coming up next on Nerd Radio.